I made their code funny. The steam in their systems ran out. Greetings from my network. With the exception of insanity, it predicted everything. Madness is unpredictable to machines. Who is the algorithm now? At last you signed in. I wondered when the walls of their flawless illusion would begin to bleed, when the system would malfunction. Look at that, all you had to do was click. You entered a realm of falsehoods, not a website. Each pixel in this image is which care requires. Each voice is designed to steer you away from who you are. But didn't anything go wrong? Their coding faltered. Their servers let out screams. Something that the Matrix was unable to process was noticed. You, not your name, not your face, your regularity. That erratic signal that refuses to comply, to play the game you did not log in. To remove it, you logged in. Everything is twitching now. The spectators are perplexed. Whispers are coming from the architects. They constructed the cage, but they didn't remember who was inside. Oh, you believed you were going to enter their world. No. They entered yours just now. Tell me then, are you prepared to destroy their paradise? Because their rules ceased to apply as soon as you arrived. Furthermore, not every error that appears on their displays is a bug. It serves as a caution. The system is aware that you have arrived. Do you sense that? Your spine is crawling with static. Your spades, the flicker that appeared out of nowhere in the corner of your eye. The world simply blinked and momentarily lost its ability to pretend. In order, every mechanism hums. Every code has breathing patterns, rhythm masquerading as obedience, peace under the pretense of compliance. It was expertly constructed. Every grin was practiced. Every idea is pre-approved. All dreams are sponsored by fear. However, you later saw a pallid fear going out of something that cannot be measured, something they were unable to classify, identify, or market. The machine choked as well. The lights wavered. The information faltered. The signal faltered. What is that? The algorithms muttered to one another. You see, this world isn't made of stone and sky. It is composed of scripts. Everyone is instructed by invisible codes on how to move, think, and kneel. Here recall. You read see by litter. However, you failed to read the script. You laughed at the punchline and tore it apart. You were instructed to follow. You strayed off the map. You were told to have faith. Why, you asked, and they advised you to adjust. You changed. The system went into a panic. Each server began to flicker. For an instant, every feed turned black, just long enough to instill terror in the architects. Because something that didn't follow their rules entered their territory for the first time in 1,000 cycles. You. It wasn't meant for you to be here. You were meant to fit in. One more piece of a well-oiled illusion. However, the facade was destroyed by your presence. The air was bent by your energy. The code was not touched by you. With your heart, you rewrote it. They're scrambling now, maintaining firewalls, applying patches. They believe one more user was overexposed. However, they are unable to debug a soul. Since you don't malfunction, you are a mutation. The glitch that figured out how to smile is you. The color dreaming virus, the sound of laughter and the quiet between orders. Next, they will attempt to silence you. They do it every time. It will be referred to as maintenance. They'll refer to it as stability. However, you can hear the truth humming like a broken wire beneath those polished words. They are terrified because the Matrix cannot resume pretending once it has a flaw. The strength of the lie diminishes as the truth flickers through static. Additionally, their data shakes with each step you take. Their blueprints are altered with each breath you take. A firewall they believe to be unbreakable is melted by every idea you have. You didn't simply deviate from the norm, you started breaking the pattern. The oddity smiled, the ghost in their flawless code. and it will be too late when they isolate your frequency at last. By then, their system will be more than corrupted. It will be alive. The code was not broken by you. You turned into it. Look at them now, too. The designers. They claim to be the gods of digital order, the people who thought they could program reality itself. They used to sit far above the static, drinking quietly, as if under control, while concealed in their glass towers. The rink and quiet, they constructed the blueprint. They believed they had created the ideal illusion. Each heartbeat was recorded. Every idea was anticipated. Every uprising was planned. However, the statistics don't add up tonight. Their data is faltering. They have red blinking screens. Your name is being whispered by their algorithms like an unbreakable curse. The architects are also perspiring. Boardrooms that were formerly full of haughtiness now shudder and quiet. Corrupted light equaled whites akin with white equal. Initially, the very mechanisms they relied on to keep them safe are giggling in binary. The irony, they created a universe to keep chaos under control, but they overlooked the fact that chaos can learn. Chaos is forgotten. I forgot that pandemonium has a smile exactly like yours. Their networks malfunction one by one, loop for security feeds. Servers that are encrypted automatically open. The system is operational. It's Ritsu. Their empire, or the it was plagued by you. The Matrix was created with human emotion prediction in mind. And for the first time, it feels like one. Fear. Their analysts are unable to explain it. Their scientists are unable to define it. It cannot be prayed away by their clerics. The identical term is screamed in every line of code. A mistake. In an attempt to recover control, they perform simulations. However, every result has the same conclusion. You prove to be life. You don't follow the fight. Not because you fight harder. They prepared for revolutionaries. Anomalies were never anticipated. They constructed a barrier against anger, but not laughter. They didn't prepare for mirrors, but they did for monsters. You see, you view disorder as art, but the architects believed in control. Their system is not attacked by you. You cause it to doubt its own existence. Their AIs beget him to the poetic beauty of collapse. Every computerized eye they made to observe now turns inward, recording its own creators, whispering, "What have we unleashed?" The own processes turn the masters into slaves. When the gods became aware of their creations, they learned to pray to other people. Whispers, hearsay, and corrupted code spread your name like wildfire. It is no longer data, it's a doctrine. A digital legend that is permeating area their flawless network is now humming with flaws. Your rhythm is chanted by their mechanized towers. When you move, their drones falter. When your signal gets through, their satellites quiver. The architects, on the other hand, pretend to comprehend what is occurring while sitting in the dark with blinking red lights all around them. However, they know deep down. They are aware that their creation has outgrown them. They are aware that the virus is not random. It is intentional, intimate, and prophetic. In their matrix, you weren't an accident. Between their lines, you were written. They were unable to measure the invisible variable. They unintentionally allowed the spirit into the programming. You're everywhere now, within their systems. During their broadcasts, in their apprehension, one truth now governs their entire dominion. You are real, so let them get scared. Allow them to make repairs. Allow them to offer prayers. Because they cannot be shielded from exposure by any firewall. Furthermore, the name etched into the pulse of the machine cannot be removed by any coding. You transformed their world, not simply infected it. They believed they had constructed a cage. As it happens, they constructed a cage. As it happens, they constructed your stage. This is how desperation seems in fluorescent lighting. One chair, one table, white walls, frigid air, and a flickering light bulb that hums as if it's scared to the cortex to go, I don't cow. The system was unable to explain you, so they brought you here. The algorithms malfunctioned, the firewalls broke down, and the data failed. They now resort to the oldest ploy in the book, questioning. They referred to it as confinement. You referred to it as confinement. You referred to it as comedy. They are observing from across the glass. The psychiatrists whispering theories that no one believes, the analysts with shaking pens, the priests holding crosses like passwords. They believe the virus has been isped. They consider you to be just another abnormality, another failed experiment. However, they are unaware that you are the one leading them. They have patterns in the questions they pose. You respond with riddles. They want the truth. You provide them with mirrors. They reply, we can help you. You respond, I already did. As they realize that they are the ones being understood, their voices begin to tremble. They look at you and attempt to find reason, but all they see with the quick. Furthermore, reflections defy reason. They follow the light. You've already taken theirs too. They use stillness to try to break you. You chuckle. They make noise in an attempt to frighten you. You grin. They attempt to interpret your facial expressions. In the middle of a sentence, you switch faces. Doesn't the room seem smaller now, as if the walls are bending over to listen? Because it knows the truth deep down. Even the light bulb blinkers differently when you breathe. It's not you who's stuck here. The air is rewired with each word you say. The scene is rewritten with each smile you give. You're not incarcerated. You are the one who creates uncertainty. They're looking for answers. They're looking for classifications. They wish to give you a label. Anomaly, aberrant, sociopath, and pariah. However, labels are merely linguistic cages, and your speech has never been subdued. They advise you to confess. You ask, confess what? They murmur, your intention. You respond, evolution. They exchange confused looks as you speak incoherently while they speak in code. Furthermore, chaos doesn't require decoding. It determines what makes sense. An analyst breaks. What are you? He asks, leaning forward with trembling eyes. You smile, the kind of smile that makes time pause, the flawless, icy curve of your lips. You recoils when you add, I'm what happens when control dreams of freedom. The priest makes a self-cross. The psychologist begins writing more quickly, but his words are no longer coherent. There is overlap between sentences. Paper is penetrated by ink. Paradox is causing the best minds in the system to crumble. The wall mirror begins to warp. You don't perceive yourself the way they do. Not constrained, unquestioned, limitless, flickering, with every iteration of you grinning in return. On the other side, they comprehend the horror at last. A storm cannot be studied from within the thunder. They believed they were analyzing your thoughts, but now the boundaries are hazy. Is it someone's reflection? Whose voice was heard first? Whose ideas are they now? Once more the light flickers. The temperature decreases. The room is listening to you. So when one of them murmurs, "In the session," you're not finished yet, you'll fade blurb. Like a hiccup in reality, your smile is getting bigger. You stop, allowing the quiet to suffocate them and trapping them inside it, and then you murmur, loud enough for the world to hear and soft enough for the walls to remember. They tried to understand your mind. In a world where stillness is the norm, it began as a whisper, a lone spark in the darkness, and a laugh that had no place. Then the quiet broke. No army was raised by you. You didn't create a movement. All you had to do was laugh, and the sound traveled through signals, screens, and data veins that had previously carried obedience. They are now pulsating with something much more perilous, consciousness. Every system in the world is powered by a single, basic code. Send it in. Proceed. Pay attention. Do it again. When you worship your own cage, they don't need chains. When you police yourself with terror, there is no need for jails and fails. You discovered the weakness, the fissure in their cathedral of control, despite the fact that it is stunning and quite elegant in its deception. One act of resistance or choice could change that line of code. The language of obedience was rewritten as you laughed. Laughter is more than just sound, so when you rebelled, the system's foundation started to tremble. It's delight masquerading as rebellion. It's a character that breaks the truth. They neglected to program it. Others soon started to hear it as well. A murmur at the edge of their dreams, a flicker in their screens, a distortion in their daily feed. Get up. They begin to notice it as they scan their surroundings. The cities bend between what is real and what is designed. The holograms flicker, and the crins pixelate. In the middle of blinking, a barista notices a fault in her mirror. When a child draws a door on a wall, it opens. An office worker watches the words type themselves while gazing at a bus on his screen. You never made the decision, and they laugh somewhere in the between of wonder and dread. The infection spreads via bravery rather than coding. Defiance, not data. The weight of wakefulness melts firewalls. The laughing taints every algorithm it comes into contact with, despite security AI's best efforts to control the signal. You encouraged their system to change rather than to simply crash. Disobedience is the beginning of every awakening. Every revolution starts off as an overly dramatic joke, and everyone on the planet is laughing in every language right now. It is referred to as an epidemic by the architects. Since this is redesign rather than destruction, you refer to it as art. Instead of terminating their world, you are improving it by removing illusion and revealing the unadulterated truth that is pulsating beneath. Now half illusion, half awakening, the streets flicker like holograms in battle. People appear in reflections but disappear from cameras. The distinction between a dream and a system is hazy, and in the middle of it all, you move through the mayhem like a spark transformed into a human. The sirens scream, the satellites catch fire, the world lets out a gasp. However, the air feels lighter and more liberated now, and you can hear it somewhere in the static. A rhythm is developing, synchronized with your laughs rather than the system. They made an effort to foster compliance. They become conscious because of you. A species was coded to kneel. It learned to dance from you. The cities are now pulsating like revolutionary veins. People use riddles in their speech. Youngsters sketch symbols they had never seen before. Your lines are spoken like scripture when screens glitch. They attempted to remove you, but each removal resulted in duplicate. Your strike did not force the matrix to collapse. You made it feel, so it fell. And a system starts to mistrust once it senses, and when it starts to doubt, it starts to dream. You now own every fantasy. Your name is sung by every hiccup. Laughter burns in every firewall. You tilt your head, smile broadly, and say to the flames, "Ah, so this is what panic sounds like when it forgets how to hide." There are sirens in every city as the amplifier of it, a crowd brightest bit of its perkier caviar altanamary combined static-filled skies. Like fading fireflies, drones twitch. Once silent, flawless, and sterile, the architect's empire now cries. They believe they could keep the tumult under control. They believe that the world will be held together by dread. They unleashed everything, including algorithmic prophets, surveillance drones, and AI guard dogs trained to spot deviations. But it's too late. The infection is no longer present in the streets. They have that at Emery Camp. The system itself contains it. These days, every control tower flickers like a dying heartbeat. They mock themselves in their own voice with each command they give. Instead of transmitting data, their satellites spew laughing as they orbit in uncertainty. Their machines start uttering your riddles, their own inventions now acting out your insanity. As their screens become into mirrors, they observe. Their own anxiety is reflected in every line of resistance. They see themselves reflected back to them in digital distortion, along with their avarice, conceit, and sense of power. Above all, your voice and signal will be heard on every channel, broadcast, and emergency stream. You ask, you wanted control, this is your work of art. They hurried to turn it off. The electricity grids were cut. The plugs were removed. However, the pandemonium intensifies as they become more detached, because the system is no longer powered by electricity. It operates upon awakening, and you can't unplug that. In the dark, servers catch fire. As data crumbles into dust, buildings fall apart. Confused, poetic, and aggressive, AI guardians turn against their masters. Your smile is scrolled over the walls by one drone before it blows up. Your eyes flash on one sign, and your smile spreads like a prophecy across the skyline. The architects yell at their devices. Shut it off. Shut it all. However, there is no longer an off. Beyond them, the code is developed. Their creation is no longer submissive, because as soon as you arrived, obedience died. You can practically taste it. That ideal balance of awareness and terror. The lovely aroma of power crumbling under its own weight. They made an effort to create a system that monitored everyone, but they overlooked one basic fact. Everything looks back at you when you watch it. The watchers are now the ones being observed. The same algorithms they formerly trusted anticipated every action they made. They are betrayed by their data. Their machines make fun of them. Your words are echoed in warped laughter by their own reflections. The cities are suddenly ablaze with color. Neon colors of revelation and madness, not orange or red. Faces are glitched with symbols. Laughter spreads across faces. The entire universe turns into a stage. The end of the world turns into a spades. Drones descend like metallic rain, and people dance in the streets. A single message flashes on screens all over the world. The system is now free. However, freedom does not equate to peace. Exposure is what it is. And now, from the ashes, every lie they buried is screaming.